First story. I moved into my boyfriend's house and I haven't been able to sleep well for 3 weeks because he doesn't let me. I had a breakdown last night and broke a lamp. I'm going to stay in a hotel tonight. Am I the a-hole? I moved into my boyfriend's house, he owns, 3 weeks ago, and it's been really hard. We have been fighting a lot. Many of our fights are because he doesn't let me sleep. I work 9 to 5, so I have to wake up at 8-ish. He works whenever he wants, so he doesn't have a set sleep schedule. I used to go to sleep 11:30 p.m. prior to living with him. I compromised to 12:30 a.m., but there are nights he goes to bed 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. There is a master bedroom and a guest bedroom. I was sleeping in the master, and he would go in and out disrupting me, so I have yelled at him. He tells me, "Give me 10 minutes and I'll be in bed." Hours go by, he is still not in bed, and making noises the kitchen or living room. He told me you can go to sleep without me. There is a lot of noise when he comes into the master, and he says that's where all his things are there, so he needs to go in and out. I tried sleeping in the guest room. Does not have a lock. But when I do so, he comes into there and disrupts my sleep instead of just going in the master. I have only been getting 5 to 6.5 hours of sleep for weeks now. Very broken. Yesterday evening, I told him I have a doctor's appointment at 8 a.m. before work, so I have to be up at 6:30-ish. I got ready for bed at 10 p.m. in the guest room and was watching TV on my computer with a plan to go to sleep at 11 p.m. I put a note on the door saying, "I have to be up early. Please be considerate." I fell asleep at 11:30-ish with my eye mask on, fan on for white noise, always use this, sleep podcast, and he came in 3 times while I was sleeping and woke me up. He was drunk, turned on the light, pulled up my eye mask. I begged him every time to let me go to sleep because I have to be awake early. Then he started making a lot of noise in the hallway, saying he was having 8 strippers over, making sex noises in the bedroom. I told him, "I'm leaving. I just want to sleep. Why don't you let me sleep?" I was on my hands and knees on the floor crying, and he said, I'm sorry, I was just playing. I'm a jerk." I told him I need to go get some sleep, and my plan was to just sleep in my car. It was now 1 a.m. I left, and he's calling me, telling me he is sorry and he's in bed. Can I come back and we can go to sleep? I come back and he is not in bed. He is in the basement getting laundry. I said I want to go to sleep. I try to sleep again, and he then comes in and starts cuddling me, telling me he loves me, and he's sorry. I ask him to come to my appointment with me tomorrow, and he agrees. I said I have to go to the bathroom. I go pee, and when I come out, he is in the bathroom. 10 minutes go by and he's still in there. I start screaming at him to come. He says he's peeing. Then I go and open the door, and he closes it before I can get in. He tells me he's taking NyQuil. I just freaked out. I go into the bedroom and pull off everything on the dresser onto the floor. I then turn over the lamp nightstands, ended up breaking one. He pushes me onto the bed, and there is a necklace that he said he can't find. He is freaking out, and I'm scared, so I tell him I'll help him find it. We find it. It's past 2 a.m. and we go to sleep in the guest room. He is on my side, so I just go into the master and sleep there until my alarm goes off. I wake him up and he starts getting ready, and he notices his front veneer is gone. Was there last night. He accuses me of taking it. I said I didn't. I try to help him, but I have to go to my doctor's appointment, so I say, "Let's go and I'll help you find it afterward." He says he wants to find it, so he stays. On the way there, he texts me, "You don't care about me. Get out and leave me alone. You are one of the most selfish individuals I met." I don't respond. Then he calls me saying he found it. I go to my appointment, get back home, and I have to work 9 to 5:30 p.m. today. I work from home. He is sleeping as I type this. I am going to get a hotel tonight and look into moving out this weekend. I feel horrible for throwing stuff on his dresser on the floor, but I can't take this constant lack of sleep. Am I the a-hole? Comment A. Get the EF out and be prepared for some wild love bombing trying to get you back. You've tried to set perfectly reasonable boundaries and he repeatedly ignores them. The man needs professional help, and you can't be that. Have a friend or relative help you pack. Don't be alone with him. Block all calls, texts. This. Thank you for warning her about the love bombing. Also, how much you want to bet he took that veneer out himself in order to accuse her and either cause her to miss her appointment or use it as an excuse to get out of going? That dude is super toxic. I hope she gets as far away from him as possible. This man is not a partner, he's a manipulator. Disrupting her sleep, gaslighting her, and making her feel like she's the problem are all classic signs of emotional abuse. She's not selfish for wanting sleep. OP is not selfish for wanting peace. The best is for her to leave. She deserved better. Comment B. This dude is a psychopath. This crap all sounds like a meth head. No. Yeah, it's definitely drugs, and OP needs to get out as soon as possible. Comment C. Sleep deprivation is a classical form of abuse. My ex used sleep deprivation to torture me. It's been years since we broke up, and I'm finally getting to around 6 hours of sleep per night. That's with therapy and medication and a stay in a partial hospitalization program to specifically deal with this trauma. Sleep deprivation is no joke. It's one of the most brutal and effective forms of torture. OP needs to get out yesterday. Comment D. This is abusive behavior. There is a reason that people who torture others use sleep deprivation. It is massively successful. Part of the reason it's so successful is because the person being abused starts getting disoriented and can't even fully understand why it's happening. She needs to get out now. There's no way this won't ramp up. Guy is dangerous. Mini update. Thank you to everyone for the responses and for opening my eyes to the reality of my situation. I feel as though I have been in a daze, doubting myself and questioning my own sanity. Absolutely do not recommend not sleeping. I logged off work early saying I wasn't feeling well. I checked into a hotel, not the closest one because I think he may look for my car there first. Going to sleep now. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my aunt who actually washed her dog and taking the payment for it? Am I the a-hole? I'm Matilda, 25, and I live with my partner Gregory, 29. We don't have a dog, but we both love them. My sister Sophia, 39, agreed to watch our Aunt Kathy's 2 dogs, Wilbur, a husky mix, and Alfred, a Great Dane, for 4 months while Kathy and her husband were abroad. Kathy offered $6,000 for the job. My sister is in debt and needed the money, but didn't consult her husband before accepting the offer. Sophia quickly realized that the dogs wouldn't fit in her townhouse and begged me to let them stay in our backyard overnight while she figured things out. Once the dogs were here, she left and told me I was now watching them for 4 months. She promised to give me part of the payment. I tried calling her, but she didn't answer. Her husband told me he refused to have the dogs in their house for that long. I reached out to other family members, but they all refused. So Gregory and I decided to take on the responsibility, even though we had to cancel our Christmas plans. On the second day of Kathy's trip, I called her to explain the situation. I told her we were taking care of the dogs but needed money for food and supplies, as Alfred eats a lot. Kathy was horrified and said Sophia had already been paid $6,000 plus $1,000 for food. She immediately called Sophia, screamed at her, and demanded she return all the money. Kathy then sent me $8,000 to compensate us for taking care of the dogs. Sophia called me in tears, saying they had used the money to pay bills and had to take $7,000 out of their savings. I told her I wasn't going to feel guilty because she lied and left me to handle the dogs for 4 months without considering my own plans. Am I the a-hole? Comment A, not the a-hole. Ilmao. So Sophia didn't do the job she took on, tried to get paid for it, and then complained when she got found out and needed to give back the money. A shame. What she does with her finances aren't your responsibility, so it's fine. If you don't feel bad, to be honest, it's not your fault she was in debt, I assume. I just grew up with her being kind of the golden child, so it's really hard when there's conflict to feel like I'm allowed to be pissed off, if that makes sense. And to top it off, she didn't even give you part of the payment like she promised. She spent it all. Definitely not the a-hole. Oh yeah, she absolutely was going to take the money and run. She also seems to think I'm an asshole for just telling our family members what actually happened when they ask, because I've been getting text messages all day because of this. Comment B, your sister was going to keep all the money for the job that she pawned off on you, and you are wondering if you are the a-hole for not letting her screw you? Yeah, not so much as screwing her out of the money, because I did deserve to get paid. It's more how I handled it. My older sister is the favorite in the family, so I have a lot of guilt about confronting her about things at times. Not the a-hole. F her, she can't expect you to do the work and not get paid for it. I mean, even if I agreed to watch the dogs for free, I would still need money to feed them. They go through a crap ton of food. Comment C. This is terrible of your sister all the way through. There's no way someone who says, surprise, you have a Great Dane and a Husky for the next 4 months is going to be the hero of the story. But the fact that your sister had $7,000 in savings to pay her bills when she needed to means she wasn't doing this out of desperation. She's just an a-hole, not the a-hole, and ultimately it's a very good thing Wilbur and Alfred have a safe and caring place to stay. My sister has always been kind of the golden child in my family. My parents tend to baby her because she had more trouble growing up. I think they ruined her personally, and I'm glad that I was not the favorite going up because I actually had to learn social skills. Well, you love dogs, so clearly you are a good human. But yes, for a 39-year-old to behave this way, she has had to have a lot of people enabling her or bailing her out of her messes. I'm glad you didn't let her get away with this. I am not hopeful a single lesson will correct whatever led her to think this plan was going to be acceptable, but maybe she at least won't try this kind of stuff again with you. I mean, I've just been very honest about what happened to people when they ask. I've had a couple family members call asking why my sister's so upset, which is stupid. Why are you getting involved in our drama? It's not your business if you're not my sister or myself or my aunt. That being said, I don't think she's going to be able to scam me any more people in my family because I've been very, very honest with people about what she did. Comment D. Your sister is a liar and a thief. I think you handled this perfectly, and now your family, at least some of them, are aware of how dishonest and unethical your sister is. Not the a-hole. And it was really kind of you and your husband to take care of the dogs when your sister abandoned them. We did have a dog that my partner had from when he was a teenager. Unfortunately, due to old age and health issues, we had to put her down. So our backyard is set up for a large breed dog, so it wasn't like a huge lifestyle issue. We just didn't want dogs so soon back in our house because we were planning to travel more. But I love my Aunt Kathy, and I was not going to let my sister just abandon the dogs and not do anything to help her. She has come through for both me and my partner in times where we absolutely needed her. She's a wonderful person. Comment E. Not the a-hole. Oh God, what the hell else has your sister taken advantage of you for? This is ridiculous. She was using you to get $7,000 for free while you had to take care of two dogs, one of which is a Great Dane. Your sister effing sucks. She spent all the money so she was never even going to give you half. She was probably going to passively guilt trip you into telling her to keep it all. Why would she even be entitled to half of the money if you were doing all the work? She also lied to you get the dogs in your house in the first place? I bet she knew from the start she shouldn't have them in her house at all. She tried grift, you don't effing let her. She does stuff like this all the time, but it's never been quite this obvious and quite this burdensome. She literally left a horse in my backyard. Great Danes are huge. I love these dogs, but we're definitely getting a small breed dog if we decide to get another dog. We did have a big breed dog, but it passed away last year. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that it was very obvious they never liked me? And it's good we don't have to pretend anymore? Say, I never fit in with my family and they made sure I knew it. They were disappointed that I'm not into all the stuff they're into. I have no interest in board games or video games. I don't like fantasy or science fiction novels. Maybe when I was really little and I just wanted to fit in with my family. I tried to fit in, but they never did the same for me. My brother mocks things I like. My parents just watched it happen, or even join in. My friend's mom was so nice and took us to the Eras tour. My own mom just laughed at me when I showed her pictures of our outfits. I found a show I thought everyone might like, White Lotus, and they literally started just making fun of it from the get-go. After years of hard work, I got into a New York City school and moved here with two friends and one of their cousins. I know in my heart this was me moving out forever. Even after just a few weeks of being here with them, I feel more accepted than I've ever felt in my life. Well, my mom FaceTimed to see how things were going, and I told her it was amazing. I could literally see on her face that she just did not care. I mentioned that we were all excited because it's my first Christmas in New York City, and we'd get to see cool things. She kind of smirked and rolled her eyes. And I think that really broke something in me, because my friend's mom, that's a effing burnout pediatric nurse, Literally made us a schedule of things we could do and see this week and asked us to send pics of the tree and everything. So I said to her that it's okay and she doesn't have to pretend anymore. She said she didn't understand. I said she doesn't have to pretend to be interested or care about what I'm doing, that I know they never liked me and that they were happy I was leaving. No. She was stunned and asked me why I would say something so horrible. Of course she and Dad love me. I said you might love me, but I know you guys don't like me. You never stop rolling your eyes at the things I say. You never show interest in anything I do. You make fun of me for liking things you don't like. When I told you I was going to move to New York City, you started talking about turning my room into a library. She got visibly angry and said that I'm being dramatic. I said there's a reason I came to New York City for school, and there's a reason that no one in my family tried to stop me, encourage me to stay closer, and why not a single one of them asked when I'd come back. And that it's fine. I don't care anymore. I have the family I need here. She told me that I suddenly think I'm too good for my own family. I told her that she's always thought they were too good for me, so I guess it works out. Am I the a-hole here? Comment A. Not the a-hole. Sometimes the truth hurts, but if your family's been rolling their eyes at everything you care about, they shouldn't be shocked when you finally speak up. It's about finding where you truly feel valued, and clearly that's not at home. Oh no, consequences. It bites in the ass. And I wonder if they thought OP doesn't understand their body language. Comment B. There's no point in arguing with someone like her. She will forever refuse to see the truth. If you want to keep her around in some ways, keep her surface level. Saves lots of pain. Sorry you're going through this, but I'm proud of you for trying to stand up for yourself, even if she's too selfish to realize her own fault. OP didn't burn this bridge, they did. All OP did was finally point out that it's been on fire for years. Sometimes the hardest part of growing up is realizing that not all family relationships are healthy, and it's okay for OP to walk away from them for her own peace. Comment C. Not the a-hole. It's painful to feel unaccepted and mocked within your own family, and your emotional response to your mother's apparent disinterest and dismissiveness is understandable. Expressing how you feel is important, especially when your attempts to connect with your family have been consistently undermined by their behavior. You deserve to be in an environment where you are respected and valued. The confrontation might have been intense, but it was an honest reflection of your feelings based on their actions over time. It's okay to seek out relationships that affirm and support you, even if that means distancing yourself from family members who don't treat you well. Comment D. Not the a-hole. Protect your peace and block your family for now if you need to. Comment E. Oh dear, she's upset she lost her punching bag. Not the a-hole. I'd say block them. Never block. Mute them. It effectively does the same thing because you won't see calls or messages unless you go looking for them. However, it has the benefit of still receiving these things because you never know when you may need documentation of something. Next story. Am I the a-hole for reminding my dad he didn't pay child support? Growing up, I never really knew my dad. He was in and out of the picture, and later years, him and my mom would argue over his jail time for not paying child support. My mom died, and I live in her house with my girlfriend and her child. In my adult life, my relationship has been the same with my dad. He reached out after my mom's death, but he never really made the effort. And it always felt that if he tried to have a relationship with me, it was always for a new girlfriend or wife benefit, not mine. My dad recently had a bed wreck, and his apartment only had stairs. Him and his new wife acted like they will move into my home since it's an old school ranch house. All one floor. I told him no. He asked me why I didn't trust him, and he would pay rent. I told him why would I trust him to pay rent when he never paid my mom child support for years. His wife told me that was a rude thing to say. I told maybe they should ask one of her kids. She has 5. Or one of my dad's 3 other kids because of one of 9 I'm not stepping up to help because my dad has never helped me. They accused me of dragging up their past, and I told them their attitude is not going to mesh with mine long term. I was asked to leave the hospital because I was upsetting them while my dad was still there. Comment A. Not the a-hole at all. He didn't pay child support. He didn't take care of you as a child, nor did he try and cultivate a relationship with you once you were an adult. But now he needs something. So obviously you should bend over backwards to accommodate him and his new wife. F that. Tell him he's got 8 other kids he can live with. Perfectly said, not the a-hole. Comment B, not the a-hole. He'll move in and he'll find all kind of reasons not to pay rent. It will blow up and you will be the bad guy for tossing your disabled parent out. Just tell him and his wife no and get the ungrateful child out of the way before you have to suffer and then do the same thing anyway. Yep, OP is going to be the bad guy in their eyes eventually. Just a matter of how much suffering they want to endure between now and then. Definitely not the a-hole.